Hey guys, welcome back to Crazy Dave's Kitchen. This is the Freeze Drying Academy. So we're adventuring into a whole new world of freeze drying. Okay, if you remember the last episode, we talked about tomatoes, okay? And we did a lot of them. Now we're going to move on to what they call the candy mode. It's a little bit different here on this freeze dryer. And sorry about the voice. It's really super smoky out here in California. I'm sure you guys know about those fires. First, I want to show you some of the upgrades that I did in the meantime. So let's go ahead and back here. This was the vacuum pump. This is a valve that is sold by the manufacturer Harvest Right. This little attachment I got on Amazon. What this allows you to do now is you open the valve when you're ready to release the vacuum. So you don't have to worry about on the other side where you open it up and you have your bucket of water. Follow me. You'll see over here. You got your regular drain hose on this side, okay? And way down here, you see I got my water here. This I'll talk about in 1 second. So by doing it over here now, and you're opening it up, you're eliminating the chance of getting water into your freeze dryer. You don't want water getting all in there because it's just going to spray around when you release the vacuum. Look into that. It's an amazing option. Okay, one of the features I want to show you over here is if you press the little right here in the middle where it says Harvest, it gives you system configuration information. What I'm mainly paying attention to is the batches completed. It says 35. And remember, I got this gift for my wife for Christmas, and we're just a little bit after New Year. So it tells you how many batches of tomatoes we did. A lot. All right, over here real quick, I got myself a whiteboard. Kind of, if you go back to my dry aging stuff, I always kept notes as to what I was doing when I was aging. So I got the date. I got my batch number, which is going to be batch number 36. Over here, actually, I don't have it right now, but I'm going to show it to you later, is a book, an amazing book that allows you to log what you're doing in your freeze dryer. So you can kind of keep track of it. Okay, now let's move on to freeze drying. First thing I want to do is I want to get this machine set up. So I'm going to hit Customize. And sometimes the screen's a little, you got to push it more than once. Okay. Now, dry temperature, I want that at 125. Extra dry time is 24. That's fine. This is the initial freeze. But we're going to change this dry temperature a little bit higher because I want to get into the candy mode. So let's go right here. And you'll see how it starts going high. And you'll see right below, candy high temperature mode. I'm going to change it to 150. The extra dry time right now doesn't matter for this purposes, okay? We're going to hit save. Now, when I hit start, it's going to tell me, starting up, and it says cooling the vacuum chamber, wait 15 minutes. But also look right under here, under the name of the fridge, high temperature mode. So now, within the next 15 minutes, you have time to load your trays, okay? But what are we doing today? Skittles. Okay, so come on and zoom in on this. I want to show you something here. Look at that. 27.5 ounce bag of Skittles. It's not all going to fit at once, but here's my point on this. When I went to 7-Eleven, Skittles brand actually has their own freeze-dried version called Skittles Pops, I think. And according to my notes here, they got 5.5 ounces, okay? And it's $10. Walmart, 27.5 ounces, about $10, okay? So I want to do a comparison as to when we're done freeze drying this bag, how many ounces of freeze dried Skittles am I going to get, and what is the value of that? Well, here we go. The first thing I want to do is I already know that half this bag isn't going to, or this whole bag isn't going to make it. So I'm going to do maybe about half. I got a scale here, kind of an old scale, so I don't know if you can really see much. But I'm going to weigh this thing out a little bit here. Let's see. It is zeroed. Okay, I'm using a measuring cup here. And we're going to go ahead and kind of pour it in. And I think maybe, let's start with 10, because right now it's at 9.4. Okay, and there we go. I don't know if you want to look at that. Can you see that on camera? That's a little dirty. It's an old scale. I mean, I had this thing 20-something years. 10 ounces, okay? We're going to lay the trays out real quick. And all you're going to do is use your silicone mats, okay, on your trays. Always use silicone mats. I found that you can use parchment paper, but silicone mats are a heck of a lot better for the cleanup. And you're going to pour it in here, okay? Spread them out. Give it a little bit of room. The cool thing about these Skittles is they're not going to expand to the full width of your trays. So that looks kind of good. Come on in here and take a look at that. That's one tray. If you want it kind of like that, let's do the second one. Spread them out. Okay. You got a third one. And guess what? I can actually do more. So remember, 10 ounces. I'm going to go to my little board over here and write, just so I know, that the first weight was 10 ounces. We're going to do a little bit more. So it might actually be about half the bag, because remember, the bag was 27.5 ounces. And right there, that is 6 ounces. So now we're going to have 16 ounces. And let's see how that looks. $16 ounces look good. I got a little bit of space right here in the middle. So let's go with 2 more ounces. And right there, that is 2 ounces. So now we got a combined total of 18 ounces. Okay. So we're still waiting on the cooling of the vacuum chamber. And it does want it to do 15 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait the full 15 minutes. And then it's going to tell me that it's ready. And I'll bring you guys back. Okay, guys. Crazy day blooper. Earlier you saw 3 trays. Well, I didn't notice the 4th one here. So remember, the 3 trays, 18 ounces, probably about 6 ounces a tray. So, actually, if you remember, I think I did 8 ounces on one. Let's try another 8 ounces, and we're going to see how it fits on there. Actually, that's about, let's do 6. Let's take a look. Okay, I believe it, 6 ounces per tray looked good. Alrighty, yeah, I actually like the 6 ounces. So now we got 4 trays. But in either case, we still got to wait until that is ready. I mentioned earlier this amazing book. Kind of looks like this, kind of looks like chicken scratch. But if you go to a blank page, you can kind of see a lot of your information. Order this book. I'm not really going to go too much into this because you're not going to use every little detail on here unless you want to. Amazing book. Got on Amazon. Called Batch Logs and Tips for a 4 tray. Now, if you get the medium tray or the large tray, you need the book that is assigned to your machine, okay? But it's just good to have, to keep a log on it. You know what your machine's up to. All right. Over here, we actually did fill up all 4 trays, and we did use the whole bag. I didn't realize that one whole bag was going to spread out evenly amongst the tray. Kind of cool because we have a good starting point of 27.5 ounces. And I did notate that on my little whiteboard. Okay. Over here, the machine is now ready. Okay. And what does it say? It says high temperature milk candy process. Be very attentive to that. You have to make sure it's on. If you look, it's off. Otherwise, you're going to mess up your candy batch. So click on the little off. So now it says on. And the next instruction says, load the trays into the freezer and then close your drain valve. Yes, I already make sure that my drain valve is closed on this side and over there. Okay. We're going to open the door up. And if you look close enough, you might see a little bit of the vapors from the actual how cold it is inside there. We're going to load the trays. As you're loading the trays, give it just a little bit of a shake. Put them in there, and then as you're loading it, shake them up. Make sure it's not all together. Slide them in there. Take up the next one. Put it in there. And remember, if it hits, that's okay. Gotta just balance it out. The next step is the cool step. All right, and that is when the vacuum pump kicks on. That's when you see these swell up like little baseballs. So at this point, I'm going to cross the camera. I'm going to hit continue, but I'm also going to go ahead and take one of my shop lights here and see if I can get right in front of this thing, because I want you guys to somehow see it without affecting the camera. Okay? And let's see what happens here. And we're going to hit continue. Oh, go back to the screen here. We're going to go right back on the screen. There's a menu something. Let me turn the light off so you can see that. All right. Warm trays. Cancel, skip, or start. Now, in this case, for the Skittles, we don't have to necessarily, actually, we are going to warm the trays. We're not going to skip them. But some of the modes you don't want to skip. So hit start. It says warming trays to 150. Add time 1 hour. Leave it at 1 hour. So now it's going to warm these trays up to 150. Then we're going to go ahead and turn on the vacuum pump. Okay, guys, so if you notice right here, as soon as the trays hit 150, it automatically went into the drying mode. But take a look at the magic happening. Once that vacuum kicks on, the Skittles start to explode. Let's see if you can maybe come on this angle and look with the light. You see how the Skittles are starting to explode? They're becoming what I call Skittle baseballs. All right. Well, guys, even though it says 24 hours, for the Skittles itself, you only need about 3 hours. After 3 hours, you can go ahead and remove it and start another batch. Okay, guys, so it's been a little over 3 hours. That's perfectly fine. We're now going to go ahead and pull out the Skittles. The Skittles, again, about 3 hours, okay? So the first thing you have to do is you can't open this thing, okay? You have to hit cancel, and you have to release the pressure on the vacuum. So we're going to hit cancel first, even though it still says drying. Hit cancel, okay? Now, it'll ask you, no defrost, start a new batch, or defrost. We're going to leave that alone right now, but look at this. Open drain valve to vent. Now, if you remember earlier, I added this device over here in the corner. So this is now going to be the pressure release. And it has a little filter on that to not allow the unpurified air in. So we're going to go, okay? And now once that is done, we can open the door over here, okay? So now we're going to go ahead and open the door. And you'll see that it's here. When you pull these out, they are a little hot. So just pull them out real quick. And I always like to set them down. And you see some of them are like kind of stuck together. The machine is beeping. The reason, see that one's one. The reason why the machine is beeping is just to remind you, hey, that there's something going on with the machine, okay? And we're going to pull this one out, and we're going to put this one on top. What I like to do is I like to grab a Ziploc bag, okay? And we're going to take the tray and put it in a Ziploc bag. We're going to weigh it in 1 second, but the first thing we want to do is get it off the tray. The tray's a little warm. And what I like to do is just put the tray back in there real quick, okay? And we're going to go ahead and empty all four of the trays, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so now I bagged this up, okay? Real important thing is that I'm not going to do it right now because I don't want it to affect the weight. Oxygen absorbers, really important with freeze drying. You also want to make sure the bags are kept closed as long as possible. Only open it when necessary. Think of it as a bag of Cheetos. You leave it open too long, what happens? They get soggy, okay? So we are going to put these in. But first, I want to weigh the bag. Now the bag is, this is all 4 trays, okay, of Skittles. Look how puffed up that got. Mini baseballs is what I call them. It actually looks like tennis balls, okay? But let's go ahead and weigh it. Now remember, when we first started, according to my notes here, 27.5 ounces. Now, let's put on the scale here. Zero it out. It comes out to 11 ounces. No, I'm sorry, 1 pound, 11 ounces, okay? So if we do the math of 1 pound and 11 ounces, that's 16 ounces for 1 pound plus another 11 ounces. And guess what I get? I get 27 ounces still. Now freeze dried. So I only lost about a half an ounce. For $10, 27 ounces of Skittles versus my original notes here showed that at 7-Eleven you got 5.5 ounces for almost $9. So that's a win-win to me. Well, thanks for watching Crazy Dave's Kitchen. I'm going to hit another batch. So we're going to go ahead and hit start a new batch here. And we're going to keep going at more Skittles.